trigger of Taish? What was the germ of this idea of, putting together this film which looks so beautiful right now?
It was a short story I had written. I had written one short story, and that's how it started off. And post my last film, Solo, I started working on another subject, and this short story's idea kind of started creeping into the other subject that I was writing. So it all became like this one cohesive thing. I had like this 12-pager, I think, if I'm not mistaken, initially, which I just started bouncing it off with a couple of people, friends, some technicians, and I got some feedback on it, and that's how it started.
And how much time did you take to kind of conceptualize it and finish the script?
Like I said, the story took a long time. I took a long time to zero in on the story because I knew what I wanted to do with the idea, but the second half of the story had a very different kind of pivot, which kept changing. So I kept changing that pivot again and again, and so the story took I think easily about 6-7 months for the story to take shape. Once the story took shape, then the screenplay didn't take long. I think screenplay, me, Karthik, Anjali and Nicola, we hammered it out in like 2 months flat.
If I can start with Kriti, tell me what was the triggering point for you to sign this film? What was it about the script, about Taish, that appealed you so much that you wanted to be part of it?
The first time I heard the script and the overall impact it left on me is the reason I was doing what I was doing. Even if it's a small contribution to the entire script and just playing that one character, I fell in love with every other character. And I think that's a great thing about a good film, where you don't, when an actor looks beyond themselves, you know that you're in for a good ride. Everyone has this passion towards Taish, and everyone was equally stoked about the script, and everyone was equally stoked about working with Bejoy. So we were literally all in one boat, and I think that just makes the journey easier. So there are lots of things that I weighed before I was sure that I can do justice to our path.
I had met Bejoy earlier, and we had acted in a short film I'd acted in a short film that he made called The Massage, which is out on Eros now on Flip, the competition to Zee5. So I'd worked with him, and I knew that like his storytelling style and the subjects that he chooses are so interesting and different, and things that you don't usually get to see.
For me, it is like a dream project. It's literally my dream project. Bejoy has been on my bucket list since the very beginning. It's like, God asking me, "Arey Pulkit, what kind of film do you want to do next?" And I'm like, yeah, a director like Bejoy. Co-stars like Kriti, Jim, Harsh, Sanjeeda, Virab, Saurabh Sachdeva, Saloni Batra, and Zoa. And then he's like, what kind of a story? A story which is like a revenge drama, but it has some edge and some class to it, how Bejoy shoots. Aisa kuch ho to maza aayega. So this film had everything from the word go for me.
Bejoy that day told us that you weren't very sure in the beginning, and he had to kind of convince you, to just get you be part of Taish. Tell me about that. I mean, what was it that you held you back?
See, my IQ is very average, so it takes a lot for a director like Bejoy sir to make me understand. So he had to then. I think he changed his. I think he changed his approach, and he brought it to the EQ. And emotionally, that made me understand the script. And I feel initially, I feel, when you try and avoid some parts of your being, when you face them, somehow there's an apprehension. So I think rage is something which I think I have kind of dealt with, and I don't know, but it's somewhere around. You can feel it somewhere in the background. So I was a little apprehensive to hug it and hold it, and that part scared me a little bit. But then Bejoy sir, with his soft voice and smile, he made it very soothing and calming.
Tell me, to put together a wonderful cast and to also effectively tell a story, while justifying each part and doing justice to each character and actor, it's not everybody's cup of tea. We've seen some ensembles not doing justice or not really evoking emotions in the audience, but you've always mentioned that you like delving into multiple character storylines. So tell me, is there a trick? Are there different ways for a filmmaker to shoot, to direct a film with a big cast? Do the ways change as compared to when perhaps you might be dealing only with two characters?
The story becomes your guide or handbook to how you kind of handle the scenes and how you kind of. I mean, the story is the starting point, right? I mean, everything becomes an extension of that only, and I feel once you have and my scripts are very basic, by the way. I write very, very simple, basic scripts. I don't write like scripts which are like phenomenal to read. I leave that room so for everyone, not just for me, for the actors, for the technicians to come on board and see what more can they do to lift that. Everyone has to play a part in lifting that material. So the trick is that, I mean, and I'm trying to finesse that trick with every film to try and be as collaborative as possible with my cast and crew, because I know that they're also seeing the film a certain way, and maybe the way they are seeing it is in some places way better than what I am seeing.
When we talk about ensembles, you are part of an industry where you're always told that you have to be number one. Whatever genre you do, whatever space you create, there should not be space for anyone else but you. So it's a very individualistic approach that Hindi film industry or any a competitive film industry would push one actor to. You are now part of a huge cast, and everyone's trying to do their part. But tell me, when you are part of such a film, do you also feel personally that such notions, such ideas also get suspended and, as a result, kind of liberate an artist from all those trappings?
In any commercial-based system, any capitalistic-based system, there's like a hierarchy that automatically happens. And I think over here, there's a very strong star-based system, and I just think that if actors could just change their minds a little bit from wanting to be a part of this star-based system, and instead just wanted to be one piece of a huge mechanism that puts a story out. So like, you are interviewing us because that's part of the hierarchy, actually, in a weird way. Like, you only want to see the actors and the director before the final film. But like I was saying earlier, and like I maintain going forward, is that so much is done by Gopika, who did costumes, by Pritam, who did the music, by Mandar, who dressed up the set and set design, and the editor, and everybody else are like equal parts in the system. So I think if we can just change our mind from I want to be the star to I want to be part of a great story. I want to help tell a great story.
Pulkit, what do you feel about it? Because I remember how beautifully you had put it during the trailer launch also.
I've been lucky that at the beginning of my career, I had a Bittu Boss, which was a solo film. And then I had a Fukre, which was an ensemble. Mm-hmm. And, I have seen the collaborative work in both the ways of working. I think only like-minded people agree to work with each other. Like if we all are working today together on Taish, we all were very clear from day one that this is Bejoy's film and this is how the film looks in totality, and not just कि अच्छा हर्ष का रोल इतना है और जिम का इतना है. Oh no यार, हर्ष को इतना cool scene मिल गया है. I was only jealous about one song that Harsh got, but otherwise everything else I was fine. I just enjoy being on the set. It's like Disneyland for me. This much part or this much part really doesn't matter to me as long as I know I'm an integral part of the entire storyline. And I'm getting something to challenge myself or have fun with.
मुझे बचपन से आदत पड़ गई शायद कि to be in the top options available. बस तो मेरा आज भी मुझे लगता है वही अप्रोच है कि बिजॉय सर अगर कोई स्क्रिप्ट के बारे में सोचे आगे तो उनके 3-4 ऑप्शंस में से मेरा नाम जरूर सोचें.
Hierarchies become a debate, and oh, multi-starrer में मेरा कितना role रहेगा, that's become a debate. What is your positioning as an actor? Social media पे कितने followers हैं, blah blah blah. ये सब चीजें बहुत बड़ा debate बन चुकी हैं. And moreover, I think वो बनी भी इसलिए क्योंकि हमने उसे बनाया है. Someone started it somewhere, which is why we are where we are. But the honest truth is, जब आप अपनी असल जिंदगी में अकेले होते हो, and by अकेले I mean you have no interaction with anyone else, your story doesn't go forward. And just because I have a very simple way of explaining this, कि आपके माँ बाप में माँ या बाप की जगह एक ही होती है. You can't choose one over another most of the times. You have your siblings, you have your family, and your own personal story is incomplete without these people. You are never the hero in your, like, you can always be the hero in your own story, but your story can't be told without everyone else that exists in your life. And the same way, there is a movie that is made based on a certain line, and every person has to come together for it to reach the climax. A lot rides on your director. It can be of my personal opinion. Maybe nobody else will agree with me. But if my director doesn't make me feel secure in what I'm doing and doesn't make me feel like I'm contributing and doing enough, I will probably never reach that place of security. So everyone is very interdependent, just like COVID.
In this script, we really got a sense of like being able to understand where each one of the many different characters were coming from. We learned about them specifically. When all of the characters have their own little personal conflicts that are happening, you know, then the whole world comes alive, and then actually you don't mind playing a character that might be conventionally smaller, because you have your own stuff that you're dealing with. It isn't just that you're a mirror to shine light back onto the lead.